Welcome back to the American College of Surgeons Bulletin Brief from the Frontline Surgeons' Voices. And the surgeon whose voice we'll be hearing today and the surgeon who we'll be seeing today is my fellow Floridian, Dr. Mark Dobbertien. Dr. Dobbertien is in his second year as the pillar lead for the Board of Governors for Member Services. Welcome to Bulletin Brief, Mark.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate being here.
Thanks. Great to have you. And the reason we're chatting today is because in another couple of days, we're going to be having the ceremony, which normally would be a black tie Board of Governors dinner on the Tuesday night during the annual clinical congress. Obviously, that didn't occur. And that's a very special night when the volunteerism awards are distributed, retiring governors are recognized, international and other chapters are recognized. So if you could start out, please, and tell us a little bit about the program that we'll be seeing in 2 days' time.
You bet, Steve. I'll tell you, I'm very excited to talk about this upcoming Board of Governors program. I believe that all of our fellows and the Board of Governors and all of the 83,000 members of the college will likely benefit from tuning in which the ACS Board of Governors highlight opportunities in leadership, volunteerism, mentorship, member recruitment, and active engagement. This program, as you mentioned, Steve, is typically done at both the adjourned meeting as well as the governor's dinner at the clinical congress. But COVID and these new virtual avenues have allowed for greater connection, I think, among surgeons for maximal participation. The program itself will take place in a couple of days and last about an hour from 7 to 8 Central Standard Time, and will be moderated by the chair of the Board of Governors, Dr. Ron Weigel. A link has been provided by email, but you can also access it at facs.org/BOG Awards, Board of Governors Awards. The agenda will highlight the 3 ACS Pfizer Surgical Volunteerism awardees, chapters both domestically and internationally that have led in member recruitment, the 50 or so retiring governors, and a special thanks from their representative chapters and specialty societies. And finally, there'll be a special recognition for the retiring members of the Board of Governors Executive Committee. I believe it should be an amazing program, and I think it should be of interest to all of our membership and our chapters as well.
Well, I normally enjoy the company and camaraderie of the governors and many others at the dinner, the regents and officers, and many, many other international guests, distinguished friends at the black tie dinner. Won't be able to do it, but it sounds like a spectacular program with the same exciting content that we would normally see in person. In the past, I've always been incredibly impressed by what's been done with the people or by the people who are being recognized with the Volunteerism Awards. And many years ago, having been on a committee helping select, it's mind-boggling how much our fellows give back. The tremendous amount given back by fellows around the world for long periods of time, years, decades of lives devoted both internationally and in underserved areas within our own borders as well. Could you give us a little bit of a preview of what the awards will entail this coming year?
I sure will, Steve. This year is like no other. There are 3 award winners, and they're amazing individuals, as you've discussed, and they have been over the many years that the program has been done by ACS and Pfizer. This year, the 3 award winners are Robert Riviello. Robert is a academic global surgeon from Brigham and Harvard Medical School, who's made significant contributions in Rwanda and the African continent. The second winner is Arthur Trask. He's a surgeon from Fairfax, Virginia, who spent over 30 years volunteering in the Central Highlands of Haiti. And finally, the third award winner is our resident award winner. His name is Aaron Epstein. He's a resident at the University of Buffalo who started a nonprofit as a medical student while at Georgetown that sends surgical teams to the Kurdish region in Iraq. The award application portal itself is available at the Operation Giving Back website. It will open in December and close in February to allow the work group to do their reviews. The nominations may be submitted by anyone familiar with the ACS members' contributions in this space. And the members of the governor's work group are always looking for as many nominations as possible to ensure that that continued high bar, as you discussed, set by all the all the nominees in the competitive categories.
Thanks very much. I know a lot of work went into the selection. I know it's a difficult process because pretty much every single person who's nominated could easily be justified in receiving the award. A question for you. In the past, the Board of Governors dinner, unfortunately, has been limited by the size of the room in terms of who can attend. I would assume that this event is open to everyone, which is an advantage of a virtual Congress, just like our academic forum this year at the meeting attracted something like 33,000 registrants to the academic content, educational content of the annual clinical Congress. Is the event in fact open to everyone?
Yes, that is correct, Steve. It is open to everyone, and most individuals, as I understand, will be getting an email with that link. And as I said, if you do not get that email, you can access it on the ACS website at facs.org/BOG awards. So yes, and it is open to everyone.
You also mentioned a little bit about chapter awards. Could you perhaps expand upon that theme for us?
Oh yeah, Steve. Chapters have really excelled in outlining, I think, the value proposition to fellows in 2020. The beginning of our third decade in the 21st century has certainly been challenging to our House of Surgery, with the COVID-19 epidemic, as well as the killing of George Floyd and many others. And while these unfortunate events, they have highlighted the incredible value of our American College of Surgeons, I think especially during the early phases of the pandemic, when precision pivoting was necessary for surgeons in our institutions. The college leadership and resources for COVID-19 navigation became the leading resources for institutions and surgeons all over the world. I think in addition, chapters are benefiting from, and the fellows are benefiting from the ACS leading in continuing education, providing members with a free clinical congress, asynchronous learning through the end of the year, and a myriad of CME credits. We also are leading, I think, in advocacy in an unprecedented time as we lead the fight against unfair Medicare cuts for surgeons. And I think all in all, I think we both could say that our value to the members is leading to a tidal wave of interest in membership and fellowship in the American College of Surgeons.
Well, thank you very much for all that you do for the college and all that's going to be highlighted. Any additional comments you'd like to make before we close?
Well, I would like to say just a few things about the retiring governor, Steve. And I really wanted to provide the audience with some demographics about the college's governors. And as you know, there are 293 governors, or about one for every 275 members. There's also 205 governors at large representing chapters. There are 88 specialty governors and 49 international governors. Typically, these governors serve for 2 3-year terms for a total of 6 years. So really every year, about a sixth or 50 of our governors retire after making significant contributions to the college. Each governor serves the college on one of 13 work groups arranged around our 5 pillar structures. And this year, those pillars are, we have 5, we soon to be 6, but the current leaders and those pillars are advocacy and health policy. It's being led by Ross Goldberg, communications led by Brian Richmond, education by Ann Rizzo, member services, and the quality and research and optimal patient care pillars led by Danielle Wall. So there are so many ways that the governors serve the fellowship and membership, but I think it has to be remembered that the primary charge for each one of the governors is to serve as a conduit, a communication conduit between the regents and the fellows that they represent and that are in their sphere of influence. So thanks so much, Steve, for allowing me to talk about the awards program.
Well, thanks so much for all of your service to the college. Looking forward to an outstanding event. 1 hour that's going to be very worthwhile, great investment of time, and I hope that a huge number of people get to benefit and subsequently thank and congratulate the retiring governors, the active governors, as well as, of course, the 3 Pfizer ACS Operation Giving Back awardees. Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir.